recording. Yes, that. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Recipe for Disaster. I'm your host. And today, we'll bring you some of the country's best creations that have left their mark upon history. I hope your taste buds are ready to stomach what we have planned for you. And with that being said, let's get into our courses for today. This beginning entree requires a strong will to digest it. First, we decided to add one 2-year-old daughter and a party girl, which happens to be her mother. Then we decided to add 31 days of the child going unnoticed, skeletal remains, several inconsistent falsehoods to an alibi, and a verdict of not guilty, and voila! We have this wonderful dish called Gone Baby Kaylee Surprise. We would like to thank Casey Anthony for sending this recipe in to us. Our first thought was we could only hope to get away with it just like she did. Now, these next two entrees sound similar and looks about the same, so pay attention to the subtle differences. The first involves you mixing 9 African Americans, a Caucasian, an AME church, and a .45 caliber pistol, while the other involves you mixing 5 U.S. soldiers, a Palestinian, an AK-47, and a military installation. Now, even though both of these involve murder and mass homicide, one is known as the hate crime, while the other is known as the act of terrorism. The way to spot the difference is the coloring of the finished product. You see, the darker the catalyst, the more the American tongue will deem it bitter. Call it terrorist, thug, and destroy it on sight without even asking questions. But if it's lighter, then the flaws are excusable. Call it bad parenting or a mental defect, and we can just shrug off the differences and say boys will be boys. Now, this last entree has the makers of being something extraordinary. Since we decided we use stuff already like Native American blood and Mexicans, we decided to use black lives because since y'all think they matter, why not use it for this show? Now, what we're going to do is decorate it with strangulation marks and bullet holes and place it in the center of dress blue officers whose colors of trust now represents fear. Let's have a taste. It seemed like this one's going to have a mixed reaction with everyone, but not to worry, we'll add some additives. Here's a dash of Stacy and a pinch of Don Lennon, 2 items that's known to sell out. Also, we use dietary nuts that want to stay healthy. Here's some pills that's distributed to us from Bill Cosby. Now caution, they're known for causing drowsiness. And here's some of the finest water you can wash it down with that's imported from Flint, Michigan. Oh wow, looks like we've run out of time. But tune in next week and we'll show you how this trash bag can become a prisoner's noose in a jail cell, and hopefully it won't turn out bland. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, and remember our motto for Recipe for Disaster is not about how much it disgusts you, it's all about how much you're willing to swallow. Thank you, and good night.
Let's go.
Thank y'all so much. Remember, if y'all want to buy a seat, definitely see me in the show. Definitely come grab a seat.